right, so jumping now into chapter 7, where we're going to be talking about costs, and we're going to be modeling our cost curves. And it's a very important chapter because the rest of the class builds on this chapter. So if you don't understand what's going on in this chapter, and especially when we get to the cost curves and the cost charts, this is a really crucial time to contact me, come into office hours, get some supplemental, video, homework, whatever the case may be, because it's not just important for the midterm exam, but it's the whole rest of the class is built on the foundations in chapter 7. So in chapter 7, we're going to be talking about one of the competitive situations that firms find themselves in. So firms find themselves in many different types of competitive situations, and those types we can represent along a spectrum. And so when we have an extreme situation where there is only one firm, then we have a situation of a monopoly. So one firm, and the other part of a monopoly is that there is no similar product. It's unique. The next type, as we go along the spectrum, well, actually, let's define the ends of the spectrum first. So the other end of the spectrum is going to be what we call perfect competition. Perfect competition is a situation where we have many firms, and the firms are nearly identical. And in addition to having many firms, we have an identical product, a uniform product. There's no differentiation. So when we're talking about perfect competition, we oftentimes will talk about wheat or corn or beef. Now, when we have a situation when there are a few firms, but not that many, we are over here in what's called an oligopoly. So when we are in a situation where we have few firms, when there's a lot of barriers to entry, we have a situation called oligopoly. And oligopolies are kind of unique because they have identical or similar products. So there's a little bit more variation, but not a ton of variation. And then lastly, we've got this red-headed stepchild in the middle here. We have a situation where, again, we have many firms. And now, instead of having any kind of identical products, we only have similar products. And this gets the weird name where we take some of monopoly and some of competition and we put them together. And we call this monopolistic competition. Also sometimes referred to as imperfect competition. So when you go to the store and you're buying, produce and things like that, right? You're buying perfect competition goods. You're not caring about, where that particular product came from. You're just looking at if the product is that identical product and what the price is. When we are shopping for something that is a bit more differentiated, right? We might be shopping for something like peanut butter. We might be shopping for something like bread, right? We're going to have a bunch of similar but not identical products. If we are shopping for something like soda, right, like pop, we're going to be choosing pretty much between one company or another, right? There are two major companies, Pepsi and Coke, in the soda pop market. And so when we're consuming, when we're shopping for that, we are participating in this oligopolistic market. And then lastly, when we are buying power from the city of Shadron, when we're buying, when we're buying water from the city of Shadron, when we're buying power from NPPD, when we're buying gas from Black Hills Energy, right? All of those things, we don't have a choice of where we're consuming those. Since we live in Shadron, you can only get water from the city of Shadron, right? There's no competing. There's no similar product. There's no competing firms. There's one firm, no similar product. So you either get that product or you don't. Any questions about the spectrum of competition, all the different market structures that we are going to be looking at in the next 4 chapters?